Before we do, though, we will talk a little bit about our famous Ozarker. All right, if anybody's miserable in the wintertime and you're waiting for baseball to roll around or something to indicate spring is here, here's your picture. Anybody know who this famous Ozarker is? You can see their honorary category, which means he's actually not from the Ozarks, but he has some kind of connection to the Ozarks. Any clue who this is? This is really obscure. This is going back a few years too, as you can tell from the photograph there. Does anybody know what uniform that is? The A's. It's the athletics, the A's. And I don't. That's either going to be the Philadelphia A's or the Kansas City A's. Probably the Philadelphia A's before they made their way to the West Coast to Oakland. You know, they had a little stopover in Kansas City before the Royals started up, and then they made their way out west. But this is a guy who was known in his playing days as Ozark Ike. His name was Gus Zernial. You can see he passed away just a couple of years ago. And Gus, not a terribly memorable baseball player. Most of you probably never heard of him. But where he gets his name is from the comic book down here in the corner in the 1950s, beginning in the late 40s and into the 1950s. There was a comic book by the name of Ozark Ike, and that was the title character. And he was an athletic guy. He was a boxer sometimes and a baseball player, but he was supposed to be from the Ozarks, kind of a big country galoot sort of guy. And Ozark Ike, the baseball player, being this big, strapping, kind of country, strong-looking guy, got the nickname Ozark Ike because people thought he looked like, or at least, you know, was kind of shaped like or something, the comic book guy. So Gus Zernial, who was not from the Ozarks at all, he's from Texas, as a matter of fact, got the nickname Ozark Ike, and he is our honorary famous Ozarker of the day. So,
how long was that comic book?
I don't know how long it was in operation. Not very many years. You can still get them off of eBay and stuff like that. And there was also an Ozark Ike comic strip. The comic strip lasted longer than I believe the series of comic books did. But they're collector's items today. It's one of many comic books from that era that had the curvaceous women in them, and I think that's one of the reasons that they're collector's items today. You know, if you've ever been to a comic book convention, you know, you might see guys who'd be interested in curvy women in comic books. I don't know. I've never been to a comic book convention, so I'm talking about something I don't know anything about. But Ray Gatto was the artist's name.